Friends and subscribers, this is China News for March 2013. Let's check the daily rags of record and find out what's happening in China during the month of March. Beware the Ides of March, they say. Well, this month, plenty of news that has happened. Recently, just a couple days ago, a landslide in Tibet gold mine area buries 83 people. One body has been pulled from the earth, but there's still 82 people that are under the ground and dead. This is coming about 2 million cubic meters of mud, rock, and debris engulfed the area as workers were resting between projects and taking their break. And this is a story that doesn't come as much of a surprise. Last week there was another coal mining accident where many workers have died, and this adds to a list of many coal mining accidents and other mining related problems here in China. Now, Chinese are very good at mining and getting a low-cost mining, yet the problem with digging up buried treasure is that you have a high amount of environmental damage, and also there's a human cost for not being able to reach safety standards and to clean up the earth as they should. And this is continuing to be a problem as China tries to mine for more resources, both domestically and abroad. And this is causing something else that many people are not aware of. Student falls into sewer and vanishes. This is in the south of China, in Guangdong province. A college student, 21-year-old, fell into the sewer and has not been found. There have been many holes developing in the Earth's crust here in China, as in the United States. In the south, I believe, there's been several caverns that have developed. I've noticed here in Jiangsu province in the Shanghai Delta area, several times when riding around, I've seen roads that have just been crumbling, and these are brand new roads, and the earth seems to be giving way in many places. And as the Chinese continue to mine for more resources and become a world leader in the fracking industry for oil and natural gas, we're going to see more environmental problems of the earth becoming dangerous in terms of the structure, the crust of the earth. Huge scandal here earlier this month in March. There were thousands of pigs dumped into the river in Zhejiang province and have flowed all the way up through the Huangpu River in Shanghai. Now there is more than 10,000 pigs have been pulled from the Huangpu River in Shanghai. And this has come as quite a shock, as farmers in the Zhejiang province area were not able to sell diseased pork meat. So instead of expensive land to dispose of the pigs, which they did not have and were not willing to pay for, they dumped the pigs into the river. And this has caused a water scare here in the Shanghai Delta area. Now, as a result, the Chinese government quite comically suddenly begins inspecting meat, and they do this as there's a scandal that comes out, and they try to do due diligence, but it's really quite comical that they would inspect pork and up the inspections and do these propaganda stunts with photo shoots, which actually do nothing to protect consumers that buy tainted meat. It's just not even a stopgap measure. Officials say China won't take place in currency wars. As the value of paper money continues to go down and people look towards real money such as gold and silver, more and more nations are devaluing their currency. China says they will not take place in it, even criticizing Japan for lowering the value of the yen. Yet this is also a little comical because China has come out with several QE rounds of printing over the past several years. So they are in fact taking place in the currency wars, and they are watching the value of the renminbi very closely. It is pegged to the US dollar, and China will continue to print money as well as all the other nations in the world. That is a fact, and regardless of whether or not the renminbi rises in value versus the dollar, China will manipulate their currency as everyone else. What's going on in Tibet? Well, there's been many more self-immolations in Tibet the past couple of weeks. Several more people have lit themselves on fire to protest China's occupation of Tibet. And meanwhile, what does the propaganda machine do? They release news stories like this of Tibetans marking emancipation and having celebrations, the liberalization of Tibet, which is actually completely false. The opposite is in effect. It says here 69.56 billion yuan, gross domestic product of Tibet Autonomous Region in 2012, which was 100 times more of that since 1959 when Chinese occupation began. So they're quoting numbers as to GDP growth in the area, but what they're not telling you is the social problems in Tibet and how they've turned Tibet really into a tourist place and infringed on the rights of the Tibetan people. This is obvious to everyone that has the knowledge of what's really going on, and there will continue to be issues there, as well as in Xinjiang, which is in the northwest area of China. There were about 20 Xinjiang residents that were arrested for terrorism the past couple of weeks, and there seems to be more of a movement there for independence, and we'll keep a close eye on that. The picture you're seeing here is a Russian couple selling clothing and other personal items in the border area between Russia and Mongolia. Trade has picked up between China and Russia, and a high-profile news topic in the past month here is Russia has sold China several high-quality fighter jets and other materials for military use, with a promise from China not to reverse engineer the aircraft, which is a laugh. That's exactly what they will do. So the ties between Russia and China are growing as the U.S. and other powers look to circumvent the world and to make new alliances and to continue to put the pressure on China in Asia, which is only going to continue, not only for natural resources but for military purposes. Cartoon of the day, there is a Cyprus citizen in over their head in deep water. There's a rescue drone from the EU and central bank, and with the life preserver is a dumbbell. So here's your rescue plan. It's tax on all deposits and the inability to get your money out of banks. Another key example and reasons why you should be in gold and silver. It's kind of funny that a lot of Chinese citizens that I've talked to actually think that Chinese banks are safer than banks abroad. This may or may not be true, but the opinion also makes me chuckle because there are no safe banks. And we see that every week. And hopefully people will come to realize that and get out of fiat and get out of doing business with the money changers and smarten up, because there is no safe bank and there is no safe place to store your wealth if you don't have it on you. So control your life, control your wealth, and don't believe the hype. Doesn't matter where you're at. There is no rescue plan. There's just higher taxes and more theft of your wealth through the banking system and government austerity.